What is going on, friends? The live stream of the Eric Zane Show podcast, brought to you by F45 Training Byron Center. Hell, F45 sponsors the YouTube channel too. As you know, everything is worth sponsoring. There's a price for was that Ted DiBiase? Everybody has a price. F45 Training Byron Center, their website, f45training.com/Byron Center. If you go to that website, click right where it says free trial. Do it, man. Click on that thing. You get 7 days free. Byron Center, Michigan is just busting out at the seams. This is a sleepy little town a number of years ago. Now it's like, we better widen the roads a little bit, maybe add another store or two. For God's sake, build the infrastructure up. They're training in Byron Center, Michigan at F45. This is the type of place you go in there. There's a bunch of, it's a group training session. Everybody's following all the socially distant rules. They're wearing their masks. They're keeping the place clean. And then you do the group training. All right. You got the instructor leading you through all the things that you're doing in the 45-minute workout. And then you leave and you go, my God. Now, look, you got to stick with it. You sign up for this thing free. The first couple are going to be rough. There's no question, especially if you haven't done shit. All right. But over time, man, you're going to get strong and you're going to feel great. You're going to have so much more energy. I love it. In fact, I'm going there Tuesday at 4:30 to train, and I'll be on Facebook Live doing it. Thank you very much. F45 Training Byron Center. You guys are awesome. F45training.com/Byron Center is their website. Okay, I got a dude who can get you into a mortgage. Now, some of you're like, well, anybody can get me into a mortgage. I've got great credit. That's awesome. When you need one, would you consider calling on Mario Flores? 231-332-6505, the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. Oh, man, I'm all over Mario's sign, too. Look at that. You see, the key on this show is to position yourself in a way that you're not actually covering any of the signs, and that's not easy to do. Mario also sponsors my Instagram, NMLS number 3035. They say to me all the time, they go, you got to put that in there or else it's like illegal. I'm like, whatever. Okay, so, if you have great credit, that's fine. Do consider Mario, please, if you like supporting the show. And if you're a newbie or your credit's in the dumper, not everybody, not all the people who do mortgages for a living want you. They're like, oh, God, Jesus. I got to work this hard for a guy who's going to get a $140,000 loan. Oh, God. No. Yeah, that's true. Mario turns no one away because there was a time when he was in a bad spot. Well, he's going to help you rebuild your credit because he's going to get you into a loan. And I'm not going to lie to you, that loan's going to be not the best loan, but you're going to be in a loan and you will be able to pay on it. And then after a year and a half of you paying the mortgage on time, then you get into a lower interest loan because you're not that much of a risk anymore. Okay, that's how that works. He'll help you navigate it and all the questions that you have, all the anxiety that you're feeling. He will ease all of that. 231-332-6505 for the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. It is the 14th of October, 2020.
Will you shut up, man?
Listen.
The Eric Zane Show podcast begins now.
Yes, hello. Sean Gotti here, coming to you from Raleigh, North Carolina. And there's not a single radio show around here that's worth a damn. So I'm listening to the Eric Zane Show podcast, coming to you live Monday through Friday. So sit back, get your trays in the upright position, feet and elbows out of the aisle, because here he comes, Eric Zane.
Thank you very much, Sean from Raleigh. I appreciate you and appreciate all of you for checking out the Eric Zane Show podcast. Okay, this is a daily show where I cover news, nonsense, and my personal stories. My partners in crime have usually got a dog or two in the shot. There's Daisy, which I took a lot of heat from WAT about getting the dogs sponsored. Yeah, I know. Well, hell, you don't even know then that Bruce here is sponsored by Grand Rapids Hybrid, and O'Neill is sponsored by Irvine's Auto Repair. Yeah, I know. Daisy A&D Cleaning, for God's sake. All right. Yeah, I've had it's just remarkable because as the show gets started, I see people like, oh man, I was starting to worry. Eric was so late. Okay. I'm getting up earlier than ever. The alarm goes off now at 5:20 a.m. So why the hell do you keep getting later? That's a great question. I think when you're used to being having it done a certain way, you almost like, though you get up earlier, you're kind of like you don't really get active on the day until the time that you're used to. So this is all a horrible sequence, a work in progress about getting to the show started on time at 8 a.m. I would guess that the last time I actually started at 8 a.m. was months ago. Okay, and all right, yeah, but I'm going to keep slugging away at it. And the goal is, you see, the problem is that about 7:30, I'm really actively following up on all the things that I want to talk about. I'm writing the show plan. I'm pulling the audio that I need. And then, I usually have to use the boys' room at some point and get a cup of coffee, say goodbye to the family. And then just kind of, I don't know. Yes, in a perfect world, the show is supposed to start at 8. And so I really need to focus on that. I know I do. Now, as we do the show live, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, that's the live element to it. So you folks are waiting, and I apologize. I really do. There is a lot on my mind right now that I really can't get into right this second. That is an excuse. So yeah, I don't even know why I said it. I just actually said it as an excuse, but what the hell? We're here. We're queer. Get used to it. Why the hell are you getting up so early? Hey, man, 2 days in a row, P90X early. I'm like, you know what? And I've been doing it for like 3 or 4 weeks, and it's going great. I mean, I feel fantastic. There is something about when you start an exercise program, the first week is just brutal. It's so bad. I mean, everything takes... It takes so much energy just to get it done. And then at some point, it's like not nearly as much of a struggle. You can tell you're getting stronger. And I feel great. I'm so happy about that. And so then it's like, look, it's getting, when the day gets long, that's the worst, man. When it's like you're just, the day's worn you out, whatever you've worked on, and then you got to fucking go and bust your ass. So I've been getting up early and doing it Monday and Tuesday of this week. And not bad. Not bad at all. Once you get down there and actually get going, getting up out of bed is the absolute, getting out of the rack is so tough. Fucking Jocko Willink. Jocko, he does this podcast. It's really like serious and inspiring. And he's a Navy SEAL. He's always like, do this. What you do is as soon as the alarm goes off, you get out of the rack and you bust out as many push-ups as possible. And he's serious. And he goes, man, I'm telling you, you do that. You don't think, you just act. You just behave that way, and that's what you do. So it's like, okay, cool. I guess I'll do that. Now, it isn't quite like that, but Willink is intense. If you ever want to be inspired, what you do is you look online for Jocko Motivation. I think that's it. Is that it? It's always worth a play time and again. I'll see if I can pull that up as quickly as I can. This is always a bad idea when things pop in my brain. Jocko Motivation. In fact, Jocko Motivation, Willink he's really good at it. And people will send me the Jocko Motivation clip many, many times. Like when I got fired in 2016, people go, oh man, watch this. It was the first time that I was tipped off to Jocko Willink. God, I hope to God I don't get a YouTube strike for this or a Facebook strike. I don't give a fuck. I'm doing it anyway. Here you go. This is, it's got to play an ad first. But so the guy, ex-Navy SEAL, now he does his podcast. And here you go. This is Jocko Willink
subordinates, one of my guys that worked for me, he would call me up or pull me aside with some major problem, some issue that was going on.
I love this so much.
And he'd say, boss, we got this and that and the other thing. And I'd look at him and I'd say, good. And finally one day he was telling me about some issue that he was having, some problem. And he said, I already know what you're going to say. And I said, well, what am I going to say? He said, you're going to say good. He said, that's what you always say. When something is wrong and going bad, you always just look at me and say, good.
Yeah. That's right.
And I said, well, yeah. When things are going bad, there's going to be some good that's going to come from
The
it.
guy's like, what the fuck? What are you, crazy?
Didn't get the new high-speed gear we wanted? Good. Didn't get promoted? Good. More time to get better.
Time to get better.
Oh, mission got canceled? Good. We can focus on the other one.
Your show's boring?
Didn't get the job you wanted. Got injured. Sprained my ankle. Got tapped out? Good. Got beat? Good. We learned. Unexpected problems? Good.
Yes.
We have the opportunity to figure out a solution. That's it. When things are going bad, don't get all bummed out. Don't get startled. Don't get frustrated.
Yes.
If you can say the word good, guess what? It means you're still alive.
Oh, my God.
It means you're still breathing.
Yes.
And if you're still breathing, well, then hell, you still got some fight left in you. So get up, dust off, reload, recalibrate, re-engage, and go out on the attack.
Fucking A, man. That guy is so intense. And so, yeah, I play that from time to time. Whenever I'm like, I'm feeling a little down in the dumps. I just got my ass handed to me hardcore by WATP. I better bust out Jocko. better re-engage, reload, get on the attack, get after it. Yeah, I love that shit. And I listen to him from time to time. It's not bad. He's got a lot of interesting guests on his show, and he's a fucking handful. Man, is that cool. Love that. Okay, so how the fuck did I get onto that? Jesus. Yeah, this is a regular thing in my world where I'm like, hey, how did you get to that point? I don't know. Okay, we have a lot to get to today, and I really appreciate you checking it out. And believe it or not, I might have a handful more of people, just a few, who might be checking out the show. So welcome to you, especially if you're a fan of WATP. I actually, that's featured in part of what I want to talk about today, fans of the show WATP. But first of all, Dad today, dear Meathead, my 86-year-old father will join me in about half of an hour for Dear Meathead. Dad is brought to you by JM Synthetics, online at jmsynthetics.com. Get your questions in for Dad. I will read them to him. Or if you want to talk to him yourself, let me know in the email, any phone number that you want. And give me the question ahead of time, too. That would be great, okay? Because some of them, I got tipped off on a question that somebody wanted to ask yesterday, and it was extremely heavy. And so I'm like, oh, boy, I don't, that might be a little bit much for Dad. So, keep them as simple as you can. And I know there is some conspiracy because you sons of bitches. My head nearly exploded last week when Melinda asked Dad a simple DIY project question, and it turned into just a catastrophe. Oh, my God. My dad was like asking her a million questions about it, and it was like so terrible. So, and I think that people are conspiring against me now to ask Dad DIY questions. Oh, fuck. And that's fine. You can. I encourage anything, but shit. Getting him on track during those is getting to be a struggle, for God's sake. But get those questions in, Eric at ericzaneshow.com if you want to get in on Dear Meathead. Okay. degenerates in my neck of the woods love this scumbag domestic terror supporting sheriff. Talked about this guy before. I have audio as our area hillbilly patriots talk about how wonderful this piece of garbage Dar Leaf is. Dar Leaf, fuck you, and fuck anybody who likes fucking Dar Leaf. What the fuck? This is the guy who gets on stage with the domestic terrorists who are right now on the hot seat for, plotting to kidnap and kill the governor of Michigan. On stage with them saying, these guys are awesome. And, all right, you could say, well, maybe he didn't know that. Maybe he didn't know that they were planning. He probably didn't. I'll give him that. So this isn't so much about Dar. I mean, everybody knows, he's kind of a jackass. But all of the scumbags are coming out of the woodwork now, and they're like doubling down, okay? After the fact that it's no big deal that he was siding with the guys who wanted to kidnap and kill the governor. My God. The baseball playoffs are heating up, and this is the first thing that I've really, that's drawn me to it. I kind of can't wait now for anything, for some of the follow-up games. After this some hilarious moments in yesterday's post-game press conference. Okay? The Braves beat the Dodgers to go up 2-0. All right? When you hear some of these moments, my God, this one guy, David O'Brien, he reports on the Braves, on the Atlanta Braves. And God, I don't know if the guy just fucking woke up on the wrong side of the bed or he was drunk or something like that, but he was interviewing closer reliever Mark Melancon in the postgame. The Braves were up big, and then they gave up a bunch of runs in the ninth inning. They ended up winning. Melancon, I think I'm saying that right, got the save. But this reporter asked this stupid fucking question. It was terrible. I cannot wait to play that question for you. And I even transcribed it. I wrote it down, okay? Questions are not supposed to occupy, only those of you on the video can see this, like half a page or 3/4 of a page. It's a very simple question. If you want to ask it, just fucking write it down and ask it. Ask it to the guy. Instead, he did all of this crazy shit, and I can't wait to break that down with you. Okay, so there's that. As always, email the show, eric@ericzaneshow.com. I'm late to the party, but how about the 11-year-old who stole the damn school bus? Oh, my God, I'll get into that one. I've got a news story about that. I tried a different approach, something that I have not done. Typically, if there's something flying in my face, I usually respond very aggressively, and then it blows up into a big, what is a small little campfire becomes a gigantic freaking forest fire. But this time, I took a different approach. Okay? And that's, I know some of you are like, oh, God, you're talking about this again. Well, not really about it, but I did take a different approach with the Who Are These Podcast fans on Reddit. The show's got their own subreddit. And I'm fortunate to be benefiting from it. So I'll talk about that. Kraft Macaroni and Cheese busted out an ad campaign recently that is amazing. It worked flawlessly, and it pissed a bunch of woke crybaby moms off like you wouldn't believe. All of that is coming up. If you have, again, anything for Dear Meathead, remember eric@ericzaneshow.com. I would love to hear from you. Okay, let's get into it here about this local sheriff in Barry County, Michigan. Now, this is not exactly where I'm at. It's not far. It's like a county or two over. And you got a lot of small little communities. Frankly, if you drive through, you'd be probably pretty hard-pressed to find a Joe Biden sign anywhere in Barry County. It's very red. And whatever. I don't give a shit about any of that. But you got this sheriff there, Dar Leaf, and D-A-R is his first name. Leaf is his last name. He looks like a fucking idiot, all right? And he's been very, very aggressive on the anti-mask thing and the anti-Whitmer thing, and he's calls him, I guess, a constitutionalist, and he's a patriot, and all this shit. All right, I get it. I mean, and I don't have a problem with any of that, really. I actually, I have an opinion and it doesn't matter, really. It's my own personal thing about the whole damn deal, and I'm not here to ram that down your throat. But Leaf was at that rally in downtown Grand Rapids when he was on stage at what's known as Rosa Parks Circle, that band shell area, and he's talking to all these fucking fat asses and ugly women wearing their, Walmart pants and shit and look like hell, and everybody's massively out of shape. And he's standing on stage with a bunch of fat ass militia guys, which, again, I cannot get over the fact that these fat fucks call themselves militia. Can you at least walk a mile or two a day and shed the 400 pounds that you are overweight? Can you at least whittle it down to 205? You are too fucking fat to defend the Constitution. If your goal is to uphold the laws of the land and the Constitution, would you please uphold the laws of your own fucking body and eat a salad once in a while, you fat piece of shit? Because, frankly, I know that the military of the United States, when they go out to fight the bad guys, they are pristine machines. They are in incredible shape. And you just with your fucking Ted Nugent cosplay and your big bad fucking gun isn't going to cut it when the gun gets so heavy that when you're holding it up for about 3 seconds, your arms get tired, you fat fuck. So would you please go for a walk, eat more appropriately. If you're going to defend the Constitution, you cannot be in that shape, you fat, miserable piece of shit. And by the way, get a better haircut too. You look like fuck. So Leaf is on stage with these fat-ass disasters, and two of them are the guys that were, like, in charge of fucking orchestrating the whole kidnap Whitmer thing. He doubles down right away and says, well, it's just a charge, and all they were doing was upholding the law to do a citizen's arrest or some shit like that. He doubles down, so that was bad, and everybody was like, well, fuck, man, we got to get this guy out. He can't be the sheriff anymore. Well, unfortunately, the law is on Leaf's side. Nobody can take Leaf out from his position as the sheriff of Berry County. And the only one who can end his time as sheriff of Berry County is Leaf himself. And I think the governor can get involved and shut him down. But I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that that's where this has gone right now. And frankly, I don't think she should. I don't think she should take him out. But and he's not going to step down. But they had kind of like a hearing yesterday in like the local town hall. And the big takeaway here is the amount of supporters that this fucker has, because all these local constitutionalists or whatever the fuck they are, they show up and they're like, we love Dar Leaf, and they're making their pitch for this guy. So this is that moment.
Berry County Sheriff is refusing to step down. Citizens showed up to this morning's county commission meeting asking that Sheriff Dar Leaf resign.
Others showed up to make sure that he stays, despite being recorded at a rally with two of the men behind bars for domestic terrorism and questioning the allegations against them.
News 8's Heather Walker was at the meeting that stayed peaceful for the most part.
There was a very visible police presence. One of the concerns from protesters was being intimidated by armed militia, which were noticeably missing today.
He's one of the most liked and well-respected sheriffs I have ever seen. You folks are crazy.
Self-identified militia members, like this man, were present at the Berry County Commission meeting this morning, but they were dressed in street clothes, no visible weapons or other Army gear.
But still fat as fuck.
Threat of violence should never keep the people of God from saying what they need to say.
This guy's, he wants Dar Leaf out. This guy.
This man
is a preacher.
brought communion to try to keep the peace. But before
juice and bread is not communion, ass fuck. That is not the Eucharist. That's just my Catholic roots taking hold there.
the meeting, the conversation between
Here's some ocean spray. Get on a fucking longboard.
the two sides got heated.
That is
crazy and
I said
ridiculous.
yes, it is
Yeah, these two morons. This preacher is, saying, get him out of there. And then this militia guy are in an argument. It's stupid.
crazy and ridiculous.
So you're coming here calling
I
people
said that their
names.
actions
He ain't your sheriff, he's
wasn't
somebody
the
else's
same.
sheriff.
Inside,
Shut up.
everyone stayed orderly. Roughly 40 people showed up, some from outside the county sharing
Listen to some of the views of these Dar Leaf supporters. Again, he's on stage with the Null brothers, N-U-L-L. These are the two fat asses with the bad haircuts who look like they should be on a couple of motorbikes in the Guinness Book of World Records and they got, he's on stage with them. The Null brothers are in jail right now awaiting whatever the fuck they're going to do in this whole kidnapping plot. And despite that, all the locals show up with their big giant banana combs in their back pocket and their fucking mullets.
their view on whether the sheriff should stay or go.
Is a good man. Just because he
He's a good man. How can you say
Showed
that?
up, some from outside the county sharing their view on whether the sheriff should stay or go.
is a good man. Just because he refused to condemn these people, you don't take away all of the wonderful things that he's done for us.
Yes, you do. Yes, you can. You're on stage with fucking domestic terrorists, okay? These guys are a whisker away from fucking Timothy McVeigh.
Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness is our Constitution, and he stands for it.
The majority
fuck
supporting
you.
the sheriff, a handful requesting he resign.
The sheriff has exhibited a dangerous pattern of sympathy towards these militia members.
He is enabling them and giving them encouragement to ramp up their actions by standing with them.
Exactly.
What is your response to that?
Exactly.
Not resigning. So that's it.
That's him. That's Dar.
Thanks.
What's your reaction to the call to have you resigned? I mean,
No, just learn from it, move forward.
the commission cannot
I ought
remove
to kick your goddamn ass, you fat funky bitch. You need to get up off your fat ass and lose some of that goddamn weight.
the sheriff. At this time, it would require an order from the governor's office or the sheriff stepping down. Reporting in Hastings, Heather Walker, News 8.
All right. Say hello to goodbye. Okay, so there's that. And that's where I live, okay? That's why pure Michigan has become the very tip-top of the fucking hill rod, degenerate ass fucks who want this all to happen. My state is the fucking armpit of the United States because of these guys and this whole thing. There is no way that anyone can talk their way out of siding with people who wanted to were plotting to kidnap and kill the governor of Michigan. How? And I love the fact that the FBI waited patiently with their Donnie Brasco in the whole mix, recording all this shit, taking copious notes. And he had whoever that was, I don't know if there was more than one, infiltrating that group however long ago and making all of this possible. I hope that one day there can be like some dateline about how this all came to be. I'm fascinated about how the whole infiltration process worked and getting more information about these morons. Absolutely incredible. That's not all there. Where I live here on the west side of Michigan is a community known as Georgetown Township. Okay, and it consists of Jenison, Michigan, and Hudsonville, Michigan, and this whole little pocket. It's not big at all. And there is some lady who is an attorney in West Michigan who is running for, a trustee position in Georgetown Township. Okay, and she says she is proud to share the stage with those two fat fucks, the Null brothers. Okay, so she is planting her flag alongside these accused domestic terrorists. So, yeah, and she makes no bones about it. I actually give her credit for having the balls to stand so proud. My God, her name is Catherine Henry. She made the first comments Saturday at some fucking hillbilly rally in Fowlerville, Michigan. But then she reiterated it when she was spoken to from Fox 17, my local affiliate. The question: are you proud to have stood on stage with the Null brothers at rallies throughout the summer? Do you respect them? If so, can you explain why? Very straightforward question. She answers very honestly. Absolutely. These two guys, as well as countless other different militia members all across Michigan, have stood up, volunteering their time to keep people like me safe while we've had threats against us. Well, all right. Maybe she has a perceived threat. I'm going to give her benefit of the doubt there. And there are people that think that way, and they think that they have to turn to their local fat ass to protect them. Okay. William and Michael Null were charged last week with providing support for terrorist acts and felony weapons charges. Catherine Henry says she met these guys at rallies across the state throughout the summer, but could not list the moment of times they met. She recalls them being at a rally in Grand Rapids in May. That's the one where Dar Leaf was at, and an event in Lowell, Michigan in June. These guys are kind. They're caring. They are advocates for the Constitution, said Henry. Okay, how the fuck can you possibly say such a thing when they were planning to kidnap someone? I guess that's what I would ask, and I wonder if they do ask that. Well, we'll continue. I can tell you that every single time I've seen these two particular guys, I can breathe a sigh of relief that they're there to help keep things on the up and up and provide a defensive kind of protection if necessary. You're crazy. The only thing these guys can protect is their own hunger, you fucking moron. Henry questioned the charges brought forth by Michigan, saying the brothers never spoke about anything crazy around her. How the fuck can you say that? This is supposedly an intelligent woman, and these guys are heard on recordings plotting against the governor, for God's sake. She added the alleged attack never happened. Well, idiot, it never happened because it was thwarted, you dumb bitch. It didn't happen, she says. These guys didn't do it, or at least the two that I know of, said Henry. Their only crimes, in air quotes, were literally only being members of a militia and owning a lot of firearms. Well, you stupid whore, there's nothing wrong with that. If you are a member of a militia and you own a lot of weapons, that is not against the law, okay? You know what they got in trouble for was the whole plot. So shut the fuck up. I mean, how could you miss that? Henry places the blame on elected officials in Michigan and others who condemned their actions. What they are doing is essentially assuming that these guys are guilty until proven innocent. No, the due process is going to occur, but they are accused of domestic terrorism, and you're not even paying attention to any of that. We have a duty to uphold the Constitution. That means presumption of innocence. It's there. That means the due process of law elements. So now she's talking about due process, but she hasn't even gone into detail about what they're accused about. She's completely missing that point. This is what pisses me off the most. When you have stupid whores like her who miss shit, who miss key components. You know, the charges to kidnap the governor. How can you ignore such a thing? Unbelievable. Completely clouded and obscured by her rage towards the government. If anybody votes for this stupid bitch, you're crazy. At the end of the day, do not vote for Catherine Henry for Georgetown Township trustee. If you live where I live, do not vote for her. Please, we do not need this stupid whore in office, for God's sake. Let's see. Where am I? What they're essentially doing, guilty till proven innocent. Do you understand the question why people may be speaking out and condemning, this violence that they were allegedly planning? So again, let me read what they asked her. Do you understand why people may be speaking out and condemning this violence they were planning? They were allegedly planning. No, I think that's stupidity, said Henry. I think that's blind, ignorant stupidity, quite frankly. So if you got these fat fucks heard on a recording contributing to the conversation and the conspiracy to kidnap the governor, would that convince your stupid fucking whore brain? Henry says, as a constitutional lawyer, it's her job to ensure the rights protected in it. God, I just had a little fear creep across my heart because she's a lawyer. Shit. People are up in arms over the potential violence or the alleged potential violence or kidnapping of our governor that was going to happen. But where were all the people upset and up in arms that our constitutionally protected liberties are being tossed out the window? You see, that's deflection. Okay? Whatever. Okay? You might want to sit, because the governor did what she did, agree or disagree, all of what went on there was part of what we all witnessed during this pandemic. And whatever. Okay? Like it or not, it did happen. But I don't think there was anything as sinister that the governor did as, plotting to kidnap someone. So I think you need to be worried about this more than worried about all the other shit. I think that's a bigger fish to fry, don't you fucking moron? She added, if someone doesn't like the Constitution, they should not vote for her, and that is okay. Well, problem solved. She is one of 6 candidates vying for 4 trustee seats. Holy shit, what a stupid bitch. If someone is that much against the Constitution, they should go somewhere else. No, fuck you. No one's against the Constitution, you asshole. This is all about you hanging out with the fucking Null brothers. All right? They're accused of domestic terrorism, and it looks like they're going to be convicted. Did you hear some of the evidence against them, you stupid fuck? Are you representing them? You're the lawyer. Holy shit. She says, let's see, don't vote for me because I'm going to do everything that I need to do to uphold our U.S. and Michigan constitutions, not just when I like, not just when it's convenient, and not just when it serves me politically to do so. Well, you should. Absolutely you should. Just like the prosecutor is going to uphold the law when they take those 2 fat fucks who probably double-teamed you at one of those events over the weekend. So kindly fuck off and go away, Catherine Henry, you stupid idiot. My God. The fucking blind ignorance that she exhibits is absolutely incredible. How do you do that? How does someone get that fucked up is what I want to know. Holy shit. If you have an opposing point of view, don't hesitate to reach out, eric@ericzaneshow.com. I'll read it in a following show, like tomorrow, or maybe on the Patreon. Not right now, though. Speaking of Patreon, that happens a little bit later on today. Looking forward to that, as always. Thank you so much for supporting the show on Patreon. It's $5 or $10 a month. As you know, this is my job, so I put up a ton of material on there. Make it worth your while. There is 5 things on Patreon that might interest you. First of all, the Lost Zane recordings. That's from my time at WBBL. I just started releasing those from my first day on the air, which was April 6, 2016. And then I've been following up with shows every Monday and Friday. Full shows on the radio when I was doing that gig. Okay, so there's that. Not only that, there is my radio show that my music-driven radio show in northern Michigan, Q100, that I record right here in the studio. I pick all the music. I do everything for it, and then I send it up to those folks. And then that show is made available to you on Patreon with no commercials. So there's that. Also, the Ben and Eric podcast. Okay, my old partner on WBBL, Ben and I got reacquainted. We do a podcast right here. I post that for you. In fact, that'll be live today at 5 p.m. on the usual sources, and then I'll make that available on Patreon. When I say live on the usual sources, I mean just the first handful of minutes. And then I cut the feed, except for the folks on Patreon. And then, of course, there is Smarter Than a Former Drug Dealer Trivia, as you, the audience, takes on Dale and Trivia for a $25 cash prize paid for by Bennett Flooring Installation. So I think I covered it all. Lost Zane Recordings, Zane Asylum. And the Patreon bonus podcast happens 5 days a week. Holy shit, that is a lot of Eric Zane. Fuck me. All there, patreon.com/Eric Zane. It helps keep the lights on, I'll tell you that, and keep the dogs fed. $5 or $10 a month. If you can't afford it, fuck it. Don't do it. I appreciate it. Your time is worth a lot to me as well. Okay, these sponsors make it happen. Keep this podcast free every day. Don't bump forward. I'll know. I won't. But still, Horizon Hydroponics. If you grow stuff indoors, specifically cannabis, they are the experts. HORIZEN, hydroponics.com. Buy from their website anywhere in the United States. Orders $250 and more. That means shipping is free. Frankly, some of the stuff's pretty pricey. It won't take much to get you over $250. So buy an extra, I don't know, couple 10-pound containers of whatever thing you do to make your pot grow big and strong, okay? It's indoor growing season officially. So whatever you need, HorizonHydroponics.com. In the great state of Michigan, everybody's growing shit now, man. Oh, my God. And it's absolutely fantastic. This is the greenest state in the United States. There is 4 brick-and-mortar locations for Horizon Hydroponics on Alpine and Grand Rapids. The Growers Outlet, Byron Center, Michigan, Lansing, Michigan, and Kalamazoo. Thank you. We don't yet have another TC paintball war scheduled, but that doesn't mean you can't engage those folks over there, and you will have so much fun. Get a group together and book time at TC Paintball. TCPaintballGR.com is their website. A key sponsor. They have a fully stocked pro shop of everything you need at TC Paintball. They also have the Kids Little League. You need more information about that, just go to their website. Little League is kind of like the low-impact paint, doesn't hurt, and gives them the experience of playing. Still playing outside, and then we'll be also taking it inside. There is God, man, it's fantastic, because outside you got the airplay, you got the tactical village. Inside you've got airball, and then indoors he's making a tactical village as well, Rick is. So very, very cool. TCPaintballGR.com in West Michigan. And I've got a gunsmith that actually services real guns. Anywhere in the United States, send your guns to BK Guns and Stuff, and they will fix your gun. 616-902-2447. That's 616-902-2447 for BK Guns and Stuff. All right. This freaking iPad is dying on me, and I need to plug it in. So I apologize for that. All right. Hold on. Oh, shit. Okay. Back in business, I think. Oh, come on. Son of a bitch. I got to edit this in post. Well, that is not working. Okay. This is annoying as shit. You know, did you hear that? Perfect example of how you work so hard to get everything. Oh, no. Did I just unplug the son of a bitchin' monitor? All of a sudden, it's like my whole world came crashing down. That's what happens when you're a one-man show. These things take place. I apologize. Okay. So the baseball playoffs. I haven't followed a bit of this. Okay. I know that in the American League, Tampa is taking on Houston. The cheating Astros are back in the well, I guess they call it the championship series, the American League Championship Series. Okay, so there's that. How about the fact that Tampa won the Stanley Cup and they've advanced so far in the baseball playoffs? If you're freaking Zaniac Dirk in Florida, you're like, fucking go Rays. So that's cool. All right. Again, I don't give a shit. And then in the National League, the Braves, boy, it seemed like it's been a long time since the Braves have been to this point. But it's, they're in the NLCS taking on the Dodgers. The Braves won last night. They take the lead 2-0 in that series. Now, I don't want to talk about any of the gameplay, really. All I want to talk about is these two moments that happened in the press conferences after. Dodgers pitcher Walker Buehler is his name. And, okay, now the way they wear baseball uniforms these days is the baseball pants are not really form-fitting. Back in the day, in the mid-'80s, when, you would watch a baseball game, the baseball players would have super tight pants like leggings, okay? And you could see every curve of their crank if they weren't wearing a cup. I mean, seriously, it was like spandex. And they would have those, and they would only come down just past the knee, like knickers. I said knickers, N-I-C-K. And then the baseball, the White Sox, and then they put on the stirrups. There's been a massive overhaul over the years in the uniform. Stirrups are gone. The baseball pants go all the way down to the cleat, and they're baggy. Okay? So, Walker Buehler last night, his pants were extremely tight. Like really tight, like old school tight. Like see every inch of every curve of your crank if you wanted to, or your ass. Tight. And that's all anybody cared about. And they were also a little short, almost like there was a gap between the top of the cleat to the bottom of the pants by maybe like 3 inches. So it looked a little stupid. It definitely looked stupid. There's no question. The tight pants thing, I mean, we need to be very happy that baseball has the the uniform has changed over the years so that we don't see so much dick. I mean, basketball. Think about basketball. Jesus. Back in the day, man, they would wear those really, really short shorts that would be like mid-thigh or higher. Hell, there's a famous basketball card of former Detroit Piston guard Kelly Tripucka. And they took a snapshot during the basketball game. And this is true. Kelly Tripucka's basketball card, you could actually see one of his balls. You could actually see his ball meat, his scrotum hugging his ball, the actual skin peeking out through the bottom of the pants. You don't believe me? Look it up. Let me write that down. I'll link that up. Kelly Tripucka in the show notes. I think he was playing for Charlotte at the time. He was near the end of his career. They took a picture and his fucking man meat, his ball sack is actually out. You could see it. So thank God that basketball modified their uniforms too. So Buehler's it's trending on Twitter about his tight pants. Now, his team is now down 2-0. He's pissed off. And some ballsy reporter brings up that his tight pants are trending on Twitter. And he says it right to his face, and Buehler responds perfectly, I love this.
Hey, Walker. Walker Buehler's pants were trending on Twitter tonight.
Probably not the time or place, Michael. Thank you, Walker.
And he gets up and leaves. Walker Buehler's pants were trending. The guy just lost the game. He's fucking pissed, and the reporter asks him about his pants. And he's not the time or place, Michael. It's all these Zoom press conferences, so it sounds real janky when the reporter's talking. But I'll link it up. You'll be able to see the look on his face. He has this like, oh, fuck, look on his face.
Hey, Walker. Walker Buehler's pants were trending on Twitter tonight.
Probably not the time or place, Michael. Thank you, Walker.
All right. I just remembered I forgot to call my dad. I was so anxious to get to that. So now I got to put up with an hour of you're late, guy. Thank you, Kenny, for the reminder. That would have been a bummer if I forgot him. What is going on, guy? Why aren't you calling me? Ah, shit. All right. Sing Father of Mine. Hold on. Damn it. Come on. All right. I hate when this happens. When I get caught off guard, which is most of the time. No, send your questions.
Hello?
Where were you, guy?
Good morning, son. How are you?
I'm good. Sorry I'm late.
Well, that's all right.
I totally forgot. I went off on another story, and then one of the audience members actually said, "Hey, call your dad. You're late, dummy."
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It was.
That's what John was telling me. Hey, he's late. I just wonder how things are.
Yeah. I know it all works out weird, but sorry about that.
That's all right.
Okay.
Hey, you're the man.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Well, no, you're the man. Everybody loves you.
Okay.
As we know, Dear Meathead is brought to you by JM Synthetics online at jmsynthetics.com. Dad, first of all, are you still selling stuff out of your garage? Isn't that what you and Joanne were doing? You were selling things?
We were doing it, but the garage got so loaded, 2 big tables and all that, and things were not happening. So last week, I sold quite a bit, but I got just as many items and plus still. But we packed it all back in, and I got a huge container outside of the house. You remember under that tree?
Yeah.
I brought that in the garage, put everything in there, loaded them up.
Right.
Because I borrowed the tables from my stepdaughter, and I give it back to them. So the garage is empty, and I gotta kind of clean things up.
Okay.
Over there.
Well, Dad, let's do a little tradio. That's, why don't you go ahead and talk about maybe just one thing that you want to sell right now? This will be Meathead's item of the week, and then you can explain to the audience, hey, I've got for sale this saw or whatever, and then maybe someone in the audience would be interested, and then I could be kind of like the go-between and get whatever it is to them, and then give you the money,
Eric, I can't really tell you one item because I have so many tools. This is all tools.
Yeah,
I got saws. I got tool chest, drawers in it. I must have 300 items in here.
Well, yeah. Well, let's start with that saw. Is that a chop saw? Is that a miter box?
What saw is that now, Joanne?
The saw for the tree, like Eric's got. What do you call that? A steel.
A what?
A steel.
Chainsaw.
You got a chainsaw.
I got a chainsaw. I got a $400 chainsaw in here. Of course, that's not what we're asking for it, but that was not up for sale at that point. But anyway, I got these things. They're all workable items, beautiful things.
Yeah, Dad, I really think we can help you move some of these items. So what I'll do is I should go there and I should get some pictures, and then we can actually put them forth, and then the audience, I can promise you.
I got them all put away, honey.
Yeah, I know that.
They're all in a huge box.
Yeah, well,
maybe in the spring, not right now.
We got nothing but time.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I'll clear out of the garage because I really needed the garage for winter time to park the car.
Yeah, Dad. Yeah.
But I can put things out of the box if I have to.
For sure, Dad. For sure. Well,
but
look.
That's an awesome suggestion. Thank you.
Oh yeah. Anything to help, Dad.
Thanks a lot, honey. If you can do that, that'd be great.
Yeah, wrenches, screwdrivers.
I got a lot of wrenches. Oh God, you wouldn't believe. I have 14 screwdrivers.
I believe it, Dad. And the audience is probably going to ask questions about, hey, do you have this? And they might be interested in getting something cheap from you.
I should start writing down the names of them and start,
Yeah, I totally think you should. I think that'd be a good idea.
Okay, that sounds great. I appreciate the help.
Yeah. I mean, seriously, we got to unload this stuff so you can have more money.
Well, there isn't so much of the money. I want to clear it up. I don't want to throw it away. They're expensive items in here,
Hey, I might even need that chainsaw because that would be, then I could have one for up north and one for here,
Oh, this chainsaw is one of them huge things, man.
Okay, so what did you think about my lumberjack skills when we were up north together, Dad? I mean, I
thought it was great.
We had to bring them down a lot of trees.
You were like a machine.
Yeah, I'm learning,
Man, you have to be careful, honey. You wear yourself out.
You're saying what not to do.
Yeah, I know. All I have to do is think about you wearing short pants, no shirt, no shoes or socks, holding the saw with one hand and a beer in the other, and then dropping it on a dog, you know?
Oh, yeah, well, that was a sad event.
Okay.
I'm glad the dog lived.
Yeah, the dog, and you, I'm glad you lived, for God's sake.
Oh, well, hey, listen.
Yeah.
I'm pretty resilient.
Yes, you are.
And the only thing I owe my resilience, and first of all, is to God, then my wife. If she didn't
Absolutely.
laugh at me, I'll probably lost my limbs and legs and toes and everything.
You know, Dad, it's a veteran move for you to talk about how important she is, so well done.
Oh, my God. Oh, even now.
I know it. That's what Bob Seger said.
Oh, my God.
Okay. Hey, I got a question for you. Jeremy writes, with the passing, Ruben, of guitar wizard Eddie Van Halen, I have a question. I feel Eddie Van Halen was the most talented guitarist I've ever heard in my life. In your opinion, who's the greatest guitarist that you have heard?
I actually don't know any but Van Halen.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I thought this guy is really the man.
He is a guitar.
I mean, he is a guitar.
Yeah, it seems like it. Yeah, it's like the guitar became part of him. He was.
Yeah, I never was into his music, but when I listened to it, wow.
Yeah, there's no question.
It's a sad event, though. Really, and these things are sad.
Yeah, he was young.
He's very young, and my gosh, I can't believe he died.
Yeah, it was. You know what he said? Somebody had said this to me, and I didn't believe it, but I think that there is something to it. He used to take his guitar picks and put them in his mouth, and he seems to think that somehow the picks were made with a certain type of metal that may have had a carcinogenic effect or was a carcinogen.
Wow.
And that's what got the cancer going, because it started with oral cancer on him, and then ultimately that's what took his life years later.
Oh my God! Oh, he died before his time.
Oh yeah, absolutely incredible.
Before his time. This is a lot of sad events are happening. This is the year of the pandemic.
Yeah, let me tell you, Dad. There's no question. Anyway, I have another question from a young lady by the name of Allison, and she writes.
Hi, Allison.
She writes, "Dear Meathead, my husband and I are remodeling our basement, and I am repainting the concrete block walls. A couple of the blocks have some rust-colored stains, and so far 2 coats of white paint and primer has not covered them. The stain just reappears as the paint dries. Is there a special paint product that you could recommend for these spots? It's faint, but the discoloration bothers my OCD. Thanks, Meathead. Love listening to your segments with Joanne."
I can't tell you about the paint, but I could give him advice about one thing. Now, I don't know what kind of acid this is, but you get that acid. It's a clear acid. It's not a dangerous thing if you use it properly. And brush it in the area that you're going to paint. You can still do that. And give it 2 or 3 coats of that. Don't rush right away to paint that. Yes, an acid that we used to wash walls and stuff, floors and all that with it. In fact, if you go to a hardware store, ask them if there's some kind of acid to wash cement floors or something.
Okay.
And put it in but don't get it on you. You'll be protecting yourself before you do that.
All right, yeah, because it can hurt you. Yeah.
Brush it in there, a couple of 3 coats, but don't make sure it doesn't splatter on you. Wear some safety goggles and all that. And then let it totally sit there for about a week or dry up, and don't be in a hurry.
Mm-hmm.
And then paint right over that.
And that should do the trick, huh?
Should do the trick.
All right, there you go, Allison. Try that. Let us know how you do. Stevie writes this. Hi, Ruben. My husband and I are going to add some more security to the home. We can't decide on the best way to do this. My question is, what do you think is the best way to keep your house safe and secure? And then she says, thanks for being a part of this show. I enjoy hearing your advice and you and Joanne every week. Signed, Stevie.
Well, the word security, now I'm trying to figure it out. Are they talking about security about from outside sources, people break in the house or not?
Yeah. She's that's exactly what she's talking about.
The number one thing is alarm system is one of the good things. You're aware of that, right?
I think she is, yeah. But I think she wanted that and anything else that you might think.
I honestly don't have any kind of strong items to tell them about securities other than secure your door locks. The one thing I do know, as far as the security you're talking about, is what you're in the house or out of the house. I don't know. If you're in the house, I had a friend of mine that at one time lived in Detroit area, and he had issues that they would break in homes and whatnot.
Yeah.
He had metal bars put on all the way across the door from inside. There were little hooks that they put on the side, and he slipped that metal rod in there at night. Two of them, one on the upper part, one on the lower part. And it was a very decorative type of thing that it was not, something that you would be ashamed of it. In the daytime, you take it right off and set them aside.
Yeah.
But at night, however, you can't do that when you're gone.
You just leave it on.
Exterior part of it.
Sure.
It's an interior type of thing. It's a hooks that go on both sides of it.
Yeah.
It's bolted to the frame of the door, and then you take that heavy metal that you have, slip it right in there from one end to the other end.
Okay.
On the side.
All right.
Put a hole under the doorknob, too.
And or what is it?
You can put one of those holes under the doorknob, goes to the floor to the doorknob.
Yeah. Keep them up. Piece of wood.
There's something that you can. There's a wood part on the bottom of the door.
Yeah.
You can put those bolts in all the way down there. You can slip it out.
What if crazy person still gets in? I mean, and the alarm goes off. It's going to take time for the cops to get there.
Well, give you time to run.
The unusual thing of that is that guy that comes in is ready for you, and you're not. Let's say that you're sleeping or whatnot. These are the chances that I don't have.
How about a dog? What about a dog or a gun or something, Dad?
Dog is the greatest asset, sure. Okay. Don't they even buy a little Mickey Mouse dog, buy a big dog.
Yeah, no Mickey Mouse dog. Okay, I wrote that down. Don't get a Mickey Mouse dog.
Put a giant dog bowl on your back porch.
This is a good idea. That's right. Put a big dog bowl on the outside of the house by the door.
Okay.
Fill it with water or something.
Yeah.
It indicates that you got a big dog.
Sure. Yeah, or maybe put a big side of beef inside of the bowl, like the dog's getting ready to kill.
You don't want to make that a butcher shop.
Yeah, put like a whole rib rack in there, and it's all chewed up.
You cracked up my wife saying that.
All right, good. All right, very good. There you go, Stevie. Hopefully you'll be able to get something out of that. I just say buy a gun. Okay, Justin says, Dear Meathead, I'm trying to get in shape and lose a few pounds. What would the Meathead workout program look like if you were a fitness trainer?
Number one workout is start eating a lot less. I mean, hey, of course, I lost like 30 pounds. I don't know how I lost it, but I did.
Eat less meat.
And less meat, definitely less meat.
More vegetables.
And my doctor next to me says, more vegetables.
Yeah.
And quit eating a lot of food. Leave the table hungry.
I noticed that you are very lean right now. I would say you're what, about 160?
Years ago, I was about 150, 145.
Well, right now, though.
I met Joanna. I was very thin.
You're 160 now.
I'm 160 now. I used to be 182.
Oh yeah, well that was when you were a bit heavier, and you're but now you'd see.
That's only about less than a year ago.
Right, I know. It seems like you're taking. Is it because you're taking better care of yourself? I mean, what's going on here?
Yes, I am. My intake of food is I have one sandwich, tiny little sandwich at the lunch hour, a bowl of cereal. That's my diet.
Yeah.
And then for dinner, just a light, normal dinner.
Yeah.
It's no pigging out.
Yeah. Now, Dad,
less meat. Less meat is the key.
Yeah. There's red meat for sure. Now, Dad, I am curious. It's important for people who are getting older to maintain muscle mass, and walking is more of an aerobic thing. Are you doing anything to keep your strength up, like your muscles? Any like work around the house or lifting any weight?
I'm outdoors almost 8 hours a day.
Okay, so
but we did walk an average of 2 miles every day. Not too long ago, we never missed it.
Yeah.
We kept walking. We still do walk, but not quite as 2 miles. And walking is one of the greatest things there is. It's not a speed walking, go normal walking and all that.
Sure.
But no, we do like to walk. We definitely walk.
So, Dad, you no doubt have heard the story about those crazy guys that wanted to kidnap and kill the governor of Michigan. What are your thoughts about those militia groups, Dad?
I cannot believe this is happening nowadays. I really have the suggestion now. Maybe I said that to you on your show or not. Maybe I didn't.
What is it?
I believe we should own a huge island.
What, really?
In the ocean. Yeah, I did tell you that, Eric?
I vaguely remember it. You better tell me again.
All right. A huge ocean island that no one can get in there. Have about 4 or 5 roving police on their boats occasionally circle that thing.
Uh-huh.
They put them there. We put them, send them over there with the clothing that they got on. No more clothing, nothing.
Right.
Summer, winter, that's up to them to live.
Right.
And then food drop once in a while and let them live there. Don't even care for them because they're criminals. If they're big-time criminals, let them die there. Let them eat each other over there.
Put them on the island.
Keep them on the island. Hell with it. And let them, and the people know, and so-and-so is in the island, and so-and-so died in the island, and he's still dead laying on the dirt. I'm really excited with that.
All right, Dad. Well, that's really good. I love hearing that. It sounds like a good plan, and I'm sure the audience loves it too.
Now, I will tell you one story.
Please.
About that. I came from a country that crime was very little of it. And the criminals, the murderers and all that,
right?
We have a city circle.
Uh-huh.
It would hang them from that circle for 3 days so the people can see them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I know. Yes, that's.
I'll tell you, we have very little crime out there.
that's that. Hey, that would keep me from doing anything bad, Dad. There's no question.
Oh boy, they actually did. They died on the hanging out there. You know.
Yeah, that's the way they did it back in the old country.
And I was a little kid. I go out there and watch them. Oh my God.
So did you ever
hanging there?
So while they're hanging there, were you creeped out, or were you like, that's just the way it is?
Care.
You're like, whatever. Screw that guy. Let's play some baseball.
I'm telling you, we didn't even know what the heck that was. Hey, it's a body. Okay.
I know that you played a lot of soccer, and since you were desensitized to that, was there any chance you'd use their bodies as goalposts for a soccer game?
Hey, those guys didn't have a chance next to me. I pulled tricks on them while we were playing that you wouldn't believe. I used to pull their pants off of them.
Oh, for God's sake.
While they're running, I'd catch up with them and pull his shorts.
You used to pull their pants down? Jesus.
I'd pull them. I'd hold them back.
I see. Okay. All right, Dad, if there's one thing we can take from this, it's your quote, start eating a lot less.
Absolutely. Leave the table hungry.
Okay. Well, Dad, as always, I thank you for your time. You and Joanne are the best, and I want to wish you a great rest of your day. I'll probably call you a little later on today, okay?
Thank you. And I wish you the same, and you know what I mean.
Absolutely. All right. Well, Dad, thank you again, and I'll talk to you soon, okay?
All right. I love you, and I love your audience. They're wonderful, wonderful people.
Yes, they are. I'm very lucky to have them.
God bless them all.
Okay, Dad. Thank you.
You bet. And say hello to your honey.
I will say hello to my honey. Okay. Love you too, Joanne. Thank you.
Bye, honey.
See ya. Bye-bye. There you go. Another rip-roaring edition of Dear Meathead. Never seems to let us down, and the direction that it goes is always spectacular. Holy cow. Yeah, that was another example of the Meathead Island echo effect. He has told that story countless times. And to him, that was probably like the first time. Well, he was convinced that this was the first time that he was telling it. Joanne had to say, "You've told that before." And we all know he's told that before. But, believe me, dealing with parents who have dementia, you don't ever stop them. You just let them go. And like, really? That's the first time? You have to act like it's the first time you've heard it every time. So it just, because they don't want to, because they get embarrassed if you bust their balls about something that they've repeated. So, hey, thanks for the questions. You guys did a great job, and that was just great. I really love talking to him. So thank you so much for engaging on Dear Meathead. Another edition of Dear Meathead brought to you by JM Synthetics. If you want an AMSOIL product, you have to get it from JM Synthetics, online at jmsynthetics.com. Anywhere in the world, buy it there. AMSOIL, synthetic motor oil. They invented synthetic motor oil, and they've a long list of products for any of your, let's see, you got cars, trucks, light duty, heavy duty, construction equipment, marine equipment, RVs, whatever it is. Get the AMSOIL and put it in there. Runs on freedom. Thank you, Jason Mays, for giving me this T-shirt. Okay, so that's that. Anyway, I kind of got sidetracked because I didn't rush over to Dad, but I do want to continue with the baseball playoffs, the press conference for this one dude in particular, pitcher for the Atlanta Braves, Mark Melancon. Pardon me if I'm getting that wrong. I don't pay attention to much baseball, but I am paying attention to this story. After the Braves won, he was being interviewed in the press conference, and it just the craziest fucking question I think I've ever heard come out of a reporter's mouth. I need to detail that, and his response was absolutely perfect. I'll get to that in just a moment. But as you know, I do cameos. Sign up at cameo.com/Eric Zane on your desktop or laptop, or just download the Cameo app and search my name, and there I am. I did one over the weekend for some dude who is a manager of about 15 dudes at a sawmill in South Dakota. And some of the guys that he is the boss of reached out to me and said, we want to get a cameo for him and roast him a little bit on getting this job because he's now in charge. So you can imagine how that went. It was great fun. If you want me to do this, just go to cameo.com/Eric Zane. I'll set you back $15. Okay, A&E Heating and Cooling. They will service your air conditioners and furnaces. They install the Comfort Maker brand of furnaces and air conditioners. They will not go to Rochester, New York. I'm just going to tell you. Well, if they did, it would cost you. You'd have to pay a lot more. You'd probably be better off just hiring a local company. But thank you, Andy. If you live in Rochester, New York, and you reached out to Joe Martinez, hopefully you didn't say anything insulting. Because if you get him mad, he's probably going to respond with something terrible.
Vete a la chingada, cabrón. Come mis nalgas cuando yo estoy cagando, cabrón.
Or maybe.
Comes chingo de cagada.
Or perhaps.
Lame mi palo con tu culo.
Yeah, or.
Tu madre es una puta.
They'll drop that on you and you're in trouble. If you need the furnace tuned up, mine is getting tuned up Monday, 616-516-8579. It'll set you back $79. You need this done before you keep it cranked on all winter long. A&E Heating and Cooling, 616-516-8579. It'll cost you $79. Please support the sponsors as always and mention my name when you call upon them. The RV dealer of choice is Terrytown RV, the biggest in Michigan by far, the biggest in Michigan and Indiana, also bigger than anything they have in Wisconsin, Minnesota, Illinois. The biggest in the Midwest. And they have an indoor showroom. So no matter what the season is, you can go indoors and look at 200 plus units on their enormous campus of RV glory. whether you're looking for a travel trailer, a fifth wheel, a motorhome, Class A, Class C, one of those Sprinter vans, which is called a Class B. They're awesome. Diesel or gas, truck topper, truck camper. They have it all at Terrytown RV. They're online at terrytownrv.com. And then one more thing. I've got an event coming up a week from Friday at Great Legs Winery Brewery Distillery. That is a winery brewery distillery on Lakewood Boulevard in Holland, Michigan. If you drive by that place, they're right across from the Windmill Estates Mobile Home Park. And head in there and get a bottle of wine, okay? Check out what they have. Trust me, you'll love it. I don't know. I haven't tasted it, but I know the people who have, and they love it. So go in there, support a great local business that has tried to make their way through this pandemic the best that they can, and get a bottle of wine or two, or get a case, or maybe get a growler of whatever beer that they have on tap that they've made for this time of year. And I think it's called like the Autumn Wind or something like that. Taste of Autumn. I don't know. Anyway, I don't drink. So, and then maybe a bottle of grappa. You Italians know what grappa is. It's all at Great Legs Winery Brewery Distillery, and I'll see you there a week from Friday, 7 p.m. at Great Legs. Okay. Back to this press conference. So, real quick, how this unfolded in the game, the Braves were in the lead. They were at a commanding 8-3 lead in Game 2 of the series against the Dodgers. And so there they are. You know, they're doing their thing. Josh Tomlin entered to pitch the bottom of the 9th inning. He got 2 outs, but allowed 3 hits, including a two-run home run to Max Muncy. So now it's 8-6. The Braves put Mark Melancon in. He allowed a run-scoring triple to Cody Bellinger, and now it's 8-7. Oh, shit, here we go. So, you know, the Dodgers are back in it, and, you know, here they've gotten 4 runs. But Melancon ultimately got A.J. Pollock to ground out to end the game. Braves win. They're up 2-0. Okay? So in the post-game press conference, Melancon is there, and via Zoom, the Braves reporter David O'Brien asks a question. Okay, I'm just going to play it and then try to keep up with what the fuck is going on here. He really takes the long way around, and Melancon is massively confused by the question, and then he says what's on everybody's mind. So I give him credit for that. This is how that unfolded. Again, David O'Brien asking Mark Melancon a question. Melancon's team, the Braves, won the game. They're up 2-0 now, and this is what this dumbass comes up with. The reporter, David O'Brien.
Go ahead, D.O.B.
Mark, can you look at this as, you guys almost blew the entire league, but can you look at it as, hey, we survived, and that's all the postseason's about. You showed something there in the end by, against a team like that. I mean, you're up 2-0 now. However you got there. Can you take a positive out of it, even though you blew most of that lead? You still
we didn't blow a lead. I don't really understand your question.
Can you still take something positive out of this? You're still up 2-0 in the series, despite blowing a big lead. Can you leave this thing feeling, good that you survived this game?
I think that's a terrible question. I'm not even going to answer it.
Fucking David O'Brien has been around the block a time or two. He went all boom goes the dynamite on that one. Son of a bitch. My God. All right, let's break this down. I wrote it down. That's part of the reason why I was late getting started. I wrote down word for word what that guy said. Go ahead, D.O.B. He says, hey, can you look at this as, you guys almost blew the entire lead, but can you look at it as, hey, we survived, and that's what the postseason is about? and then he jumps right into another sentence. So that's not really a question there. He says, can you look at this as, again, I'm going to back up. I'm going to do this a lot. Can you look at this as, yeah, you guys almost blew the entire lead, but can you look at it as, hey, we survived, and that's what the postseason is about? Now, I think Melancon there could have jumped in if he wanted to, but that's not really a question because the guy's kind of making a statement too. The guy's kind of answering his own question. Okay? And then he continues with, you showed something there in the end by, against a team like that. I think you're up 2-0 now. However you got those. And then Melancon says, I don't. And then reporter says, I mean, can you take a positive out of it after you blew most of the lead? Melancon says, we didn't blow a lead. Dude picks it up. I don't understand. Oh, wait a minute. And then Melancon says, I don't understand your question. Reporter says, David O'Brien says, can you still take something positive out of this? You're still up 2-0. Well, there you go. You answered the fucking question for the guy. Can you take something positive out of it? Yeah, we fucking won, stupid. What a dumbass. Can you still take something positive out of this? You're still up 2-0 in the series, despite, blowing a big lead. Fuck. Jesus. I mean, it's like he's not even thinking that the Dodgers are trying. That happens in baseball. The other team is trying to score runs. You realize that there will be moments when the other team will, it doesn't matter when it's going to happen, you never know, will suddenly become effective against the other team. That does happen. That's why they play 9 innings, you dumb fuck. Can you leave this thing feeling good that you survived this game? Well, yeah, we won, you dumb shit. I give Melancon credit for and if you're David O'Brien, I mean, you should probably say, yeah, I think I need to take a couple of plays out here. That was pretty rough. I don't know what the hell happened there. I think I might have been high or what, but that was terrible. Or say nothing at all. I don't know if he said anything more since then. But one more time.
Go ahead, DOB. Mark, can you look at this as, yeah, you guys almost blew the entire lead, but can you look at it as, hey, we survived, and that's all the postseason's about. You showed something there in the end by, against a team like that. I mean, you're up 2-0 now. However you got there. I mean, can you take a positive out of it even though you blew most of that lead? You still up 2-0?
We didn't blow a lead. I don't really understand your question.
Oh.
Can you still take something positive out of this? You're still up 2-0 in the series despite, blowing a big lead. Can you leave this thing feeling, that you survived?
What a horrible question.
I think that's a terrible question. I'm not even going to answer it.
So I don't know anything about Melancon. He seems to be okay. I mean, it's I'm looking at some of his other tweets. He just basically X's and O's type guy when he's covering shit. I think he just fucking fell off the rails there. I mean, he took the long way on everything. How about just what was your mindset when the game was suddenly 8-7? What were you thinking when suddenly the pressure is turned on? How do you respond to that? I mean, that's pretty easy, right? I mean, hindsight being what it is. Oh my God, absolutely the worst. But all right, so there you go. To me, you'll have to excuse me. Sports to me has been just so on the back burner. It's been just remarkable how it's been tough to get into anything. I struggle with no fans being there. Pro football is about the only thing that I've been kind of following, but I got the Lions, so shit. All right, who do they play this week? Jacksonville. Oh, no. Okay, now Jacksonville stinks. They're as bad as the Lions. I think they only have one win, too. So I'm stealing this from my old pal Bill Simonson. He said that if they get blown out by Jacksonville, they will, his opinion is that they will fire Matt Patricia. Yeah. So if that's the case, son of a gun, man, they are at Jacksonville. They might be favored in that game, too, coming off of the bye. And then they're at a shitty Falcons team who hasn't won a game yet. They got a new coach. Seriously, man, this is just awful. I doubt they're going to put it together. All right, I'm off track. Pardon me. I missed it earlier in the week. The kid who stole the school bus. Again, I don't know how the kid got into the damn thing. I don't know how the keys were there. How did this even happen? So many questions about kid in Louisiana, Baton Rouge, stealing the school bus. The word is that the kid actually had to stand up to get to the pedal. 11-year-old kid steals the school bus, and they'll probably say it in the story, but as he's driving by the cops and they're in hot pursuit, he's giving them the finger as he drives by. How about that?
More news. An eventful morning this morning. An 11-year-old led police on a chase from Scotlandville to Central in a stolen school bus. The boy crashed into a tree in front of a home before noon. News 2's Sydney Kern talked to the homeowners, who were shocked.
I don't know what's going on, but it looked like somebody that stole the school bus.
That's exactly what happened. Before noon, dozens of cop cars were chasing this school bus for 13 miles, starting near Progress Head Start in Scotlandville to Central.
This is not your typical Sunday afternoon, for sure.
The driver, an 11-year-old. This is where he ended up crashing into a tree in this couple's front yard on Greenwell Springs Road.
It wasn't but a minute after that they got the little boy out of the back of the truck, so we came out then.
The boy was put under arrest, facing multiple charges, including theft of a motor vehicle and aggravated assault. Baton Rouge police say the boy at one point purposely tried to strike another car.
Next thing you know, we see a bunch of cops and we hear whatever it was, car or whatever, hit a tree.
Many living nearby heard the crash.
A Sunday, you're just trying to relax, and things happen.
You can see the damage the collision caused.
No, they don't. This actually never happens.
To both the bus and the tree. The child is okay.
He's okay. Just small.
Crews had to first fix a gas leak, the bus hitting the line, before removing it from the Smith's front yard.
One of the policemen said he had never seen anything like this before.
A bizarre joyride. The outcome could have been a lot worse. The child hopping out of this bus is now heading to juvenile detention.
Okay.
Sydney Kern, WBRZ, News 2.
Details on how the child was able to steal the bus are currently unknown.
Yeah, we need to know that shit. We need to know that. This is things we need to know. First of all, we need to know how it happened, how he was able to do that. We need all those details. We need to get a look at the mom and dad, okay, if they're even in the picture, okay, so we can cast some judgment here on the fucked up living arrangement. Or maybe he's one of these kids who lives with like a grandma and grandpa, and the grandma and grandpa are old as shit, and they can't even do anything. The kid just runs the house. Everybody went to school with somebody who in their class had that type of shitty environment, and they just, oh my God, they made everybody pay for it too. They were a fucking problem. We just had that story that we talked about last week in my neck of the woods, the 16-year-old and the 14-year-old who stole the semi and was driving it around and crashed it into down the street of Zaniac, Kent, dropped the E at a U's house. And that 14-year-old, they ended up giving the one kid back to his parents. But this 11-year-old, this brat, goes to juvie, which I don't even know how that works. If they just keep him like locked up or until he's, or do they give him back? I mean, kid's 11 years old. What the fuck are you supposed to do? Throw the book at the kid? Clearly there's a problem at home. These are all questions that need to be answered. But I mean, I cannot just, I can't imagine an 11-year-old being that screwed up that he's doing something like this. I mean, I look back to when I was 11. I think the biggest thing we ever did was like ring a doorbell, maybe the old flaming bag of poop, egg the neighbor's house. We used to do that all the time. Throw eggs at the actual neighbor's house. Like go into the fridge, get eggs, walk into the backyard, egg his house, walk back in the house. And I know they heard it because it's like aluminum siding, and it would just bam, 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 and it was obvious that we did it. And I would never forget the day. His name is the Raymonds. Mr. Raymond was the principal of Notre Dame High School in Warren, Michigan. Mr. Raymond, every fucking month, would have to get a pressure washer and clean off the side of his house with a pressure washer. We're like, well, I don't know. It's crazy. I don't know what happened. Wasn't us. We didn't do a damn thing. It's like fucking terrible. I can't believe the shit that we tried to pull back then. So stupid. Kids are so dumb. Yeah, now it's kind of a thing where I want to almost talk to my kids and say, can you tell me something I don't know of something stupid of where you actually got in trouble or could have gotten in trouble? Full immunity here. Can you please tell me right now? Because in my mind, nothing has happened. Like, no one has gotten in any trouble. I mean, sure, you have the glaring deal about early pregnancy and Jim being a father at age 17. But whatever. I mean, that happens. You know, sometimes the kids just can't control themselves and things get out of hand. But that isn't, you know, I don't think that's on the same plane as like stealing a school bus. Jim got caught with pot once. And I told you the story about when he tried ordering some type of hallucinogens that were some of these stupid fucking magic beans. But outside of that, I don't think Jim did much of anything. And Jacqueline, as far as I know, not a damn thing. But in Madison, no way. So, I mean, unless there's something I don't know, I should give them full immunity and actually bring them in here and have them confess something to you. And then you guys just don't tell me. Yeah, I'm sure that'll work out. Okay. I'm going to be, you can hang out with me on the 24th of October. There is an event coming up that I'm really excited about. Okay, listen to this. This is a local yokel thing at the West Shore Mall in Holland, Michigan. Here's what's up. Harbor Humane is the animal rescue mission, if you will, facility of choice that I work with. And Allison runs the show over there. She had a question for Dear Meathead, and she also asked me if I would help out. And I said, well, hell yeah, I'll help out. They have a pet costume contest, which, you know, I got to bring the gang. So hang out with me and the dogs. It starts at 4 p.m. on the 24th of October at the West Shore Mall in Holland. I will be a celebrity, air quotes, celebrity judge for the pet costume contest. It's a big trunk or treat thing. So, you know, they'll be handing out handfuls of COVID to your children. You can get some Snickers and some candy and some deadly infectious disease. And I'm just kidding. That won't be part of it. Sorry, Allison. Everything will be taken care of for you. On the 24th of October, I will be there. It starts at 4 o'clock, West Shore Mall in Holland. Okay? All right. Thank you again for inviting me. It's good to be remembered. Okay, plenty more to talk about. But first, Kent County Health Department, get your kids vaccinated. Okay, measles, mumps, rubella, whooping cough, pertussis, meningitis, HPV, just to name several. Impressive that I can rattle those off. Kent County Health Department can make all of those available to you for free if you qualify. You need those things, okay? Don't let your kids become infected with a terrible disease that could infect others. If you're an anti-vaxxer, you're beyond hope. Keep your stupid kids at home. Kent County Health Department also encourages you to get a flu shot. And please remember the 4 COVID testing stations in and around the county. We are experiencing a big surge in COVID right now. State of Michigan, not looking great. We had 30 people die yesterday and about 12 or 1,300 cases diagnosed. So we're starting to get into that weird spot again. And, you know, I think it's important to re-engage or re-wrap your mind around that whole concept. I know it's affected my family. And, yeah, so there's that. More on that later on. Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid. Oh, sorry, one more thing about the Kent County Health Department. If you need more info, contact them at accesskent.com/health or call 616-632-7100. Okay, Irvine's is the place to get your car fixed in West Michigan. 616-532-6600. They're awesome. You got a guy. You know, for some people, like, I don't trust the mechanic. I don't know who to call. I'm just going to take it. What do you mean? Don't go into it blindly. You've got a team, and it's Irvine's. Trust me on this. We get our cars fixed there. You should too. 616-532-6600. Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid, domestics, Asians, European. I'm starting to sound like I'm drunk. All taken care of at Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid. And don't just take my word for it. On their website, they all have all of their Google reviews available for you to look at. It's like a 4.8 star average. Absolutely incredible. Okay, this next one. I knew this was going to happen. I absolutely knew this was going to go the way it is, and that is Kraft Macaroni and Cheese having a campaign for, I guess there was something called like National Noodle Day or something like that. You know, there's always a stupid day for everything. And the idea behind their campaign was for National Noodle Day, send someone a box of Kraft macaroni and cheese noodles. You know, the box. And the campaign was called Send Nudes. And they spelled it NOODS. And, okay, now this is the type of thing that's perfect because on its surface, just send nudes. You know, it's got that whole cute vibe to it. So people will remember that. But even better, the world is full of assholes. And when you have assholes who love to cancel everything and say everything is harmful to the world, they then take the ad campaign and you increase the impact of it by like 1,000-fold. On the ad, it said, why go out when you can stay home and send nudes? And the bowl of macaroni and cheese is digitized, blurred, like it's when you see a not safe for work post on Reddit or something like that. It's blurry. And that's all they needed to do. It's perfect. Just as that is perfect. And then just watch the fireworks. Okay? So let me just start from the beginning. Kraft Heinz jokey marketing campaign encouraging people to send nudes quickly descended into a hellfire after angry moms ravaged their Instagram posts, saying the company, quote, not making this up, sexualized mac and cheese, end quote, and was being, quote, predatory, end quote, toward children. Yes. Some of the most militant critics even used hashtags and talking points associated with the QAnon mass delusion. I don't know what that is. I've heard of QAnon, couldn't tell you specifically what it is, to attack the company over its pun. My God, you got to be a fucking bored asshole to spend any amount of time on anything like this. Most people see it and shrug, maybe like, oh, I get it, and then they walk away from it. How fucking wrapped up with the world do you have to be that offended and ruined and then take the time to go the extra mile and like try to cancel? Lynn Gallia, who's a spokesman for Kraft Heinz, told BuzzFeed News in a statement that the social media campaign was inspired by National Noodle Day last week and, in quote, encouraged adults to send free noodles to loved ones to provide comfort and make them smile. Okay, now she says that, but okay, we know what you were doing, and it's very clever because you when you incite the world like this, you're able to capitalize. That's great marketing. That's good work. I think it's less about actually trying to get someone to send a box of macaroni and cheese. Who the fuck is actually going to do that? And more about just get exposure for your brand. It's perfect. The company is well aware of the backlash, Gallia said, adding that since the campaign has already ended, quote, the content will be removed from our channels. So sparing the upset people who are so hurt by this by removing the content now. All right. On Tuesday, the company playfully announced its hashtag Send Nudes campaign with a video featuring former Saturday Night Live actor Vanessa Bayer. Kraft and Bayer play up the pun repeatedly in the video. Excuse me. She says in it, quote, "In these strange times, people are in need of extra comfort. That's why it's always a nice gesture to send nudes." She says, "To be clear, I'm not advocating you send nudes to anyone. Send nudes, not nudes." Some customers did not find the bit funny, saying it was widely inappropriate because Kraft was a, quote, family company. Oh. Many threatened to take their business to Annie's, another company that makes mac and cheese. Now, fuck that Annie's shit. Give me Kraft every damn time. Quote, "This is not okay. This is not okay. Don't you realize that a huge portion of the people who actually eat your mac and cheese are children?" Come on. Please delete this. Unacceptable. Switching over to Annie's Organics. My God. If I had a kid who saw that and was too stupid to get the joke, and I imagine, you're only looking at a select age range because, like 18, if I were to share this with Madison, she'd be like, "Oh, I get it. I get that. Ha, clever." But I don't know. I think once you get down to maybe school age, like middle school age or less, grade school, that those kids might not get it. And then why don't you just say, yeah, they don't really want, you can just tell them if they ask, if they say, "What is this, mommy?" Say, "Yeah, they're being silly. They don't really want you to send naked pictures. They spelled nudes weird, like noodles. They want you to send noodles in the mail. That's all they want you to do. That's all you got to do." I mean, what? It takes, 10 seconds? Why don't you just fucking tell them? You think that if you tell them, they're going to know. They're not like idiots unless you're raising an idiot. I don't know, or making them an idiot, you fucking asshole. Why does everybody have to like, "Oh, yeah, let's take it out on some company"? Well, this is perfect. Kraft wanted it to go this way. As soon as the fucking granola-eating, hippie, giant, muffed asshole moms decided to do this shit, they're like, "Fuck yes! It's working. This is exactly what we wanted it to happen." Several top commenters confirmed to BuzzFeed News that they were moms to young kiddos and were profoundly concerned about the campaign's cheeky and sexual inference because children eat mac and cheese. Of course, many other customers, such as college students and adults, also regularly eat mac and cheese, the article says in BuzzFeed. I'll link it up for you. "I do not want my boys growing up and seeing a commercial where they joke about the exploitation of children," said Instagram user whoever, a mom of 2 young boys. Others, like whoever, a mom of 3 young children, claim Kraft is marketing in a way that grooms children into believing it's okay and even funny to send nudes. Oh, my God. Multiple women also used the joke to espouse their fears and conspiracies about mass child trafficking happening in secret by the so-called deep state, a false narrative espoused by those who follow the QAnon collective delusion. I guess so. I'll take your word for it. The pointed anger only grew on Monday after Kraft shared another Instagram post about its send nudes joke over the weekend. "Stop, stop, stop. Listen to all these moms. We are your customers," one person wrote. Some are even commenting with the hashtag Save the Children. Oh my gosh, how embarrassing, which was once a actual real initiative for anti-child trafficking that has since been hijacked by QAnon groups. QAnon fucks up everything. They're the ones who fucked up the OK sign, when they said isn't that the group that did that? They said it means it's a white supremacy rallying cry. Fuck, I almost got in trouble for that because whenever guys would show up in the penalty box in the AHL games, they'd be sitting there and they have the penalty box camera and I'm next to them. I would always play the circle game, which is what this is, into the box. And he'd look at it. It was hilarious. We had a great time. And then some fucking fan complained to the team that, oh, yeah, Zane's all about white supremacy, man. I heard that from QAnon. Fuck you. The Kraft spokesman said the social media marketing gimmick was created to get people to mail mac and cheese boxes to friends and family members. This worked absolutely to a T. Fantastic. The social promotion resulted in over 20,000 consumers across the country receiving boxes of America's favorite Kraft mac and cheese. Yeah, right. Nobody did that. Shut up. We appreciate all the feedback we've received. This is excellent. I love this. All these moms taking care of their children and protecting them. Oh, think of the children. What are we going to do? All right. Thank you to Dirk. He sent along the Kelly Tripucka image with his man meat hanging out. Actually, it was a picture from when he played with the Pistons. So there you go. I will link that up. You can see it in the comments of this podcast. Referring to selling my stuff on my dad's stuff online as tools, he says, call it Meathead's Marketplace. Or Meathead's Merchandise, or Meathead's Man Stuff. I like Meathead's Marketplace. That is emailer Tim. See, doesn't it feel good to contribute, Tim, and not be ridiculed for something that you wrote? You see, when you try too hard, it gets fucked up. That was great. Meathead's Marketplace can be a feature on the show. I think we can work that out. And then he adds in a follow-up email, and then he says, you know, Carl from WATP is going to give you shit for selling your dad's merchandise, especially if you get it sponsored. Well, fuck yes, that's his job. It's his job to give me shit. By the way, the Drew and Mike Show podcast was referenced yesterday in yesterday's podcast. And Carl makes a regular appearance on that show. And I guess they talked about me today because I heard from another person today that they did. So I don't know what was said. I'll check it out. But thank you in advance. I appreciate that. It's been a hell of a week. I've gotten a hell of a lot more press than what I'm used to, which is normally zero. Okay, so even just one person talking about your old pal Eric Zane is an absolute win in my book. So thank you to those guys. Okay. In fact, I got a little bit more about some of the feedback that I'm getting on Reddit from the fans of WATP. I'll get to that in just a bit. But first, one more time for Baldwin Ace Hardware. They're getting set to shut it down. Well, they're not shutting the store down, but the tourism is dropping dramatically there. So they're like, hey, don't forget to remind them, saying that any hunters coming up to the area, remember Baldwin Ace Hardware for anything that you might need. Or if you know you're going to need stuff, don't buy it at the big box store when you head into town. Get it at Baldwin Ace Hardware, an oasis of DIY awesomeness in the Northland, and a longtime supporter of this podcast. Thank you, Baldwin Ace Hardware. Say hi to Mike and Jennifer whenever you get a chance. And then, of course, my friends over at Blue Frost IT. I had a Tech Tuesday event online on Facebook yesterday with Alan and Kenny from Blue Frost IT. Man, a ton of stuff talked about, a ton of ground covered about what they can do for you and your business at Blue Frost IT. If your business needs anything for tech, you call upon them. That could be, hey, we just moved our office into 25 employees. We're redoing everything. We're doing all new computers, all new wiring. Everything needs to be in place. That's who you call. Info at bluefrostit.com or call them at 616-200-8550. They also do quick fixes at an hourly rate. And for any like hospitals, dentists, physical therapists that you get in the weeds and you need some tech things taken care of, we understand that you're open till 5 and you can't really have tech people going in and out while you have patients there. It gets kind of weird. They're doing after hours calls so that you stay later. They can come to your place and take care of you. The managed IT service provider for the show and can be yours as well. 616-200-8550 for Blue Frost IT. Okay. Who are these podcasts? I went ahead and posted on the show's subreddit. So it is reddit.com/r/who are these podcasts. And I went ahead and posted my moment on this show, on Tuesday's show, when Carl joined me. So I posted it on there as a link, just said, hey, if you want to hear more of Carl, here you go. And I've basically, when I realized that I was going to be murdered on the show, and I was in the roast that they did of me, I said, I've seen how it goes when other shows get butt hurt, okay? Take the medicine, laugh it off, roll with it. You'll probably make a friend along the way, and fuck it. I mean, you sit there and you beat the shit out of everybody all day long. It's about GD time. Somebody rub your fucking nose in it, Eric. So I'm like, all right, that's going to be my approach. I'm going to handle it that way. Nothing's going to bother me, and I'll probably learn a little bit out of it. And I honestly have. There were some good points that they made about my show. Plenty of it sucks. I know that. I'm like, fuck, I got to stop doing that, or I got to do that more. So that was my approach with the whole WATP thing. And fuck, at the end of the day, I've made a new friend, and I need those. I definitely need those. So I posted that on there in that group. Now, again, they're used to dealing with people whenever, like Stuttering John, for example. He's fucking doing everything he can to try to cancel Carl. He's going after people that post about him. So he's being really aggressive and stubborn about this instead of rolling with it. And it's kind of backfiring on the poor son of a bitch. So everybody hates the guy. I didn't do that, and it's working out. I'm really happy. In fact, some of the comments, this person writes, Stuttering John should take note. This is how you win fans. Well done. I'm like, and I respond to all of them. This is on their sub. Thank you. Rolling with it and laughing is much easier. This person says, have you ever considered getting Chad Zumock as a co-host? If you don't know, Chad Zumock is the comedian asshole who co-hosted with Carl the week before my episode. He's a cock, all right? So that was funny. And I said, now that would be entertaining. Holy fuck, I want to fight that fucker so bad. He can cry about all the people that have hurt him while I punch his face. And then this person says, you should review Chad Zumock. Zumock, that cock, has a podcast. And I listened to one episode. It sucks shit. So that got me thinking. I saw that post when it came in this morning from little_pension_1830. That is a great idea. And I think I want to do it. But I got to figure out the right way to do it. And I'm a little concerned because Carl already does this. And I would only be doing it to start a fight. But a lot of the people that follow Who Are These Podcasts would love that because they all hate Zumock too. And Zumock does a lot that is shitty on his podcast. If anybody thinks mine is shitty, you should hear this asshole's podcast. All he fucking does is name drop, complain, doesn't really talk about any fucking thing. Gets on a comedian or gets a comedian on and fucking argues with him. Nothing memorable. It's all shitty. Very easy podcast to rip a new asshole to. And I don't know if Carl wants to. First thing I would do is ask Carl, are you going to ever review Zumock? Because if you're not, I'm going to do it. And that can be the only one I review because there's so much there to make fun of. So I think in one way, shape, or form, that's going to happen. Fuck Zumock. This person writes, good on you for being a good sport about it. And I wrote, it was great. Honestly, as brutal as they are, there's plenty of useful shit that they say that actually helps. And then this person says, you're going to be on WATP soon, right? And I wrote, now that would be something. I would welcome that. This guy writes, sorry, bud, you're still boring as hell. Carl can't even say you. Maybe sell cars? And I rolled with it with laughy emojis and said, it's an art form. Thanks. Same dude writes, you just made me like you, bud. You see how this works, Eric? You fucking don't act like an asshole. This is incredible. At age 50, I might be figuring this shit out. And I wrote, thanks. You made my day. This guy writes, nicely done, my man. You'd think more people would have a sense of humor about themselves and the idea of a roast, but it hardly ever happens. I wrote, thanks. That's age. Many years of acting butthurt got me where I am now, which is a room off my closet above my garage. Well, there you go. I consider that a win in my book. Hey, that's it, man. I am done. Once again, appreciate you being part of this show, giving me your time. I'll take it over to Patreon a little later on with the bonus podcast. Don't forget Ben tonight. I'll have that for Patreon live and recorded for you, $5 or $10 a month. I will stream live the first handful of minutes of it on Facebook, Twitter, and let's see, Facebook, Twitter, and no, it won't be on YouTube. It'll be on Facebook and Twitter. And then I will publish the audio the first handful of minutes. If you like it, sign up. If you don't, that's okay. I appreciate your time. Okay, folks, that's going to do it for the Eric Zane Show podcast. For the dogs, for everybody else, I appreciate you. Talk to you. Bye-bye.